All right, moving over to the top side of the boat, we're going to install our Lenco Pro Control Auto keypad. You notice we have a pre-existing hole from the Lenco system that was on this boat prior. Our keypad will fit and drop right into that hole. We just have a little bit of a longer face on our keypad, so you want to make sure that there's enough room to accommodate that on the lower side of the hole, which in this case there is. Now we're inside the console of the boat, and on the back side we're going to use our locking collar to tighten down the keypad while somebody's on the top side ensuring that the face of the keypad is nice and straight. All right, now we're going to tap into the boat's existing NMEA 2000 network using 2 supplied T's and 2 drop cables. These drop cables will be different lengths in this application. One of these drop cables is going to be for our IMU in the Pro Control Auto system. The other drop cable is going to be for the keypad. All right, so to connect the keypad into the NMEA 2000 network already existing on board the vessel, we're going to disconnect one of the NTs and terminators here. So this is the power drop T. And now with the network detached, we are going to add a new T connector for the keypad. And for our Pro Control Auto system, you'll then add the other T connector for the IMU. All right, so now we're going to use one of our shorter drop cables to connect the longest network plug on the back of our keypad into the NMEA 2000 global network on board the vessel in one of the T's that we have just installed. All right, and then the next step is going to be to connect the cable for the IMU into the NMEA 2000 global backbone on the boat for our Pro Control Auto systems, and then snake the cable to the location where the IMU will be mounted. All right, so now in the console, we are going to grab our actuator power leads and wire them into power for each individual actuator. They also require 20 amp circuit protection per actuator. In this case, as opposed to using the supplied inline fuse holders, we're actually going to connect into a pre-existing fuse block that's inside the boat. All right, since this boat is equipped with Mercury digital throttle and steering that's compatible, we're actually going to connect this SmartCraft cable into the back of the keypad through this large purple connection here. You'll hear an audible click to know that it's seated properly. And then this other end will connect into the Mercury J-box in an open port. If your boat is not equipped with Mercury DTS, then through the back of the purple port on the keypad, you're going to connect the purple wake wire. Once seated, you'll connect this end into a port on your ignition that gets positive 12 volt power when the ignition is switched to the on position. All right, now we're going to build out the console side of our Lenco 2K L2K network. We've run a cable from the console to the back of the boat to connect into the actuators at the 2 T's and terminators at the back side. Now we're going to do something very similar here in the console, where we're going to take this backbone cable and we're going to connect in 2 T's, and now we are going to add the final terminating resistor to the system. With these 2 T connectors, we're going to run a power drop for the L2K network to give this network power, and then we are going to run a drop cable from 1 T to the short L2K cable that is labeled on the back of the keypad. All right, and now we are going to plug the L2K power drop into our fuse panel on the boat. All right, now for the final L2K connection, we are going to take this glass T here. We are going to connect a drop cable. And we're going to take the other end of this drop cable and connect it into the short port labeled L2K on the back of our keypad.